Just when you think Mark Wahlberg has hit his peak, he pulls off yet another surprise, and it's not just in his career. His muscles, too, have bulked up noticeably over the last decade. You can thank movies like The Fighter, Pain and Gain, and Lone Survivor for that transformation. We're talking about a guy who wakes up before the sun, pounds down more meals before breakfast than most of us have in a day, and squeezes in not one, but 2 intense workouts. Oh, and he somehow still finds time to act in blockbuster movies and run multiple businesses. So what's the secret behind Wahlberg's superhuman routine? Is it cryotherapy? What about protein shakes? Maybe it's just pure grit. Maybe it's because he's Marky Mark. Stick around, because we're about to break down his insane fitness plan, his carefully crafted diet, and just what it takes to live like Hollywood's most jacked early bird. Spoiler alert, it's not for the faint of heart, or for you late risers. This man eats, sleeps, and breathes fitness.
If I was actually smart, I would have listened to the people that told me how to do things right a long time ago, but I was hard-headed and thought I knew everything, like most people I talk to nowadays when I try to give them advice about eating right, recovering, and training properly.
Today, the megastar still looks like he could bench press a car, and guess what? He's a whopping 53 years old. At 5'8" and around 185 pounds, Mark Wahlberg isn't exactly towering over anyone. But you wouldn't be surprised if he popped up at a local bodybuilding competition. He's come a long way since his days as a Calvin Klein underwear model, where it wasn't just about size, but all about those famous washboard abs. Now, those abs are likely still in there somewhere, but his biceps, have they stolen the spotlight. Of course, part of what makes Wahlberg seem larger than life is that classic Hollywood trickery, but there's also just something about his presence. Even if you didn't know his actual height, his sheer charisma and beefy build make him seem like a giant. But what's the key to staying both physically and mentally sharp? Well, it's all about his crazy dedication. We're talking about a guy who wakes up at 2:30 a.m. Yeah, you heard that right. Before the sun even considers rising above the horizon, Wahlberg is up and getting to work, and that's just the start of his day. Honestly though, those arms of his are getting a little bit too big, like Hulk-sized. Maybe it's time he toned down and brought back that iconic 96 pack. What do you say, Mark? Still got it in you? Anyways, let's take a look at what Mark puts into his body and fuels all of those biceps. Mark's diet, it's pretty much legendary at this point, and thanks to the power of the internet, we got a good look at what a typical day of eating looks like for him. Sure, it can change depending on what movie he's working on, but one thing stays the same. This man is all about routine. In one of his recent meal plans, Wahlberg was downing 2 full meals before most of us even hit the snooze button for the first time. And while you might be tucking into a late dinner at 8 p.m., he's already headed off to bed, prepping for that brutal 2:30 a.m. wake up. So what is on the menu for the Pain and Gain star? A whole lot of protein. We're talking turkey burgers, egg whites, meatballs. The protein works. And when we say he eats a lot, we mean a lot. If you're thinking about following in his footsteps, get ready to not only stick to a serious diet, but also to spend a good chunk of your day sweating it out in the gym. This is a serious, full-time commitment to living like this machine of a man. So, shortly after wrapping up the 2018 film, Mile 22, Mark Wahlberg's daily routine looked more like a military operation than a regular schedule, complete with meal prep from his personal chef. It all started with a 2:30 a.m. wake-up call, followed by a brief prayer session at 2:45 a.m. By 3:15, he was sitting down to his first breakfast, which consisted of steel-cut oats, peanut butter, blueberries, and eggs. And after fueling up, Mark hit the gym for his first workout of the day, from 3:40 to 5:15. Then, by 5:30 a.m., it was time for his second breakfast, a protein shake, 3 turkey burgers, and 5 pieces of sweet potato. I mean, that's enough food to feed a small family, don't you think? Now it's hit 6 a.m. and he hops into the shower before heading out for a round of golf at 7:30. A mid-morning snack of 10 turkey meatballs kept him going at 8, and by 9:30, he's in the cryo chamber for recovery. Now, if you don't know what cryotherapy is, we'll explain it a bit later in the video. Okay, now by 10:30 a.m., it's time for his third breakfast. A grilled chicken salad loaded with 2 hard-boiled eggs, olives, avocado, cucumber, tomato, and lettuce. That actually sounds really good. Afterwards, from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m., he balances his family time with meetings and work calls. Lunch at 1 p.m. is a New York steak with green peppers, and then more meetings and calls follow that too. He picks his kids up from school at 3, snacks on grilled chicken with bok choy at 3:30, and by 4, he's back at the gym for workout number 2. After another shower at 5, he enjoys dinner and family time, with a menu of fish like halibut, cod, or sea bass paired with some veggies such as sauteed spinach and bok choy. Then by 7:30, it's lights out, ready to do it all over again the next day. Oh, that sounds absolutely exhausting. Now looking at Mark's schedule, you'll notice he's not content with just one workout a day. The guy hits the gym twice, with his personal trainer, Brian Wynn, crafting routines that are nothing short of brutal. These workouts aren't set in stone though, they shift depending on what role Mark's prepping for. Whether he's gearing up to play a boxer or a Navy SEAL, his training program always goes hard. But it's not just about pumping iron. Mark is also a big believer in cryotherapy, a process where you stand in a chamber colder than Antarctica, with temperatures dropping to an insane 150 degrees below zero. That sounds like torture, right? Well, according to Mark and a bunch of experts, it helps with reducing inflammation, speeding up his recovery, and even improving his sleep. And you've got to be pretty committed to freeze yourself like that. But hey, it's all part of staying in peak shape. When Wahlberg's in full workout mode, he doesn't hold back. He goes into his sessions with something called RAMP, which stands for range of motion, activation, and movement prep. This involves exercises like the Spider-Man stretch and hip bridges, plus a good old foam rolling session to just loosen things up. And then it's on to the heavy stuff. Mark switches between bilateral and unilateral strength moves using things like heavy bands, TRX, dumbbells, and kettlebells. And don't think he skips leg day. His lower body workouts are packed with balance and agility drills, pushing him to his limits every single time. When Wahlberg's locked in, he's really locked in. Mark Wahlberg's workouts are as intense as you would expect, packed with a mix of strength, cardio, and endurance exercises. His routine covers everything from classic bench presses and pull-ups to more dynamic movements like kettlebell lunges, sled pushes, and even jump rope. He's also a fan of incorporating stability ball push-ups, band workouts, and dumbbell exercises. And to keep his heart pumping, Mark also throws in cardio sessions on the treadmill, jump rope, and even the VersaClimber, a machine that simulates climbing and works out the entire body. When he was prepping for Mile 22, Mark and his trainer Brian Wynn went all in with a plan designed to push his limits. The warm-up alone would leave most people winded. It's focused not just on getting the blood flowing, but improving posture and flexibility. So he started with a supine band overhead hold for 2 to 3 minutes. Then he followed that with hip bridges and band pull-aparts for 1 to 2 minutes. Next up, push-ups into mountain climbers for 2 to 3 minutes, and then he went and wrapped up the warm-up session with a 2 to 3 minute VersaClimber session. Then comes the workout itself, and it is not for the faint of heart. Wahlberg kicks off with a barbell floor press while performing dead bugs. 3 sets of 12 to 20 reps. Up next, a single leg band Romanian deadlift, RDL, for the same number of sets and reps. And then he follows that up with a farmer's walk for 50 to 100 yards before moving into a kettlebell deadlift for 3 sets of 12 to 20. The workout continues with half-kneeling unilateral overhead presses, also for 3 sets of 12 to 20. After all that, it's time to stretch it out with a figure 4 stretch for 2 to 3 minutes. Then he wraps things up with 5 grueling rounds of battle ropes, 30 seconds on, 30 seconds off, and finally, sled pushes until failure. This routine is what turned Wahlberg into a machine for Mile 22, and it's no surprise that it requires an insane level of dedication and energy. In the end, you'll understand why Mark Wahlberg looks like that at 53 years young. His commitment to fitness and health is nothing short of extraordinary. We're talking about intense daily routines, a strict diet, and absolutely relentless workouts that keep him at the top of his game, both on and off the screen. Whether he's preparing for a demanding role or just maintaining that impressive physique, Mark is proving that hard work, consistency, and discipline, those are the real secrets to success. So what do you think? Is waking up at 2:30 in the morning taking it a little bit too far? Let us know down in the comments below. Thanks for watching. Remember, with a dash of effort and a pinch of self-care, you'll be rocking that youthful glow for years to come. If you've enjoyed this video, subscribe to our channel where we uncover more Revitalixir recipes.